So, I'm sitting down to start recording this, and I'm realizing off the bat I'm actually very glad that I was, did my stream earlier in the morning, because, oh boy, I've spent the day, I'm recording this, doing chores. Like, just chores. Well, I had to put it off a bit because my apartment turned off the water suddenly, but hey, whatever. Now, to take a break from Epic after the absolute mess last week that was, the Vengeance Saga videos. So there are animatics now, actually, for the whole thing that I do want to watch. I have them on my playlist already. However, I want to take a break from Epic today, so we are going to resume watching JoCat's crap guide to FF14, which is very appropriate considering that the day I'm recording this, I just finished the Final Fantasy VII remake. I started the DLC as well, but I'll worry about that later. But today's episode is healers, which I don't have as much experience as I do tank, because I've only played healer enough to have White Mage and Scholar to 50, and Scholar technically doesn't count because that's only at 50 because I play Summoner 2 on the side. So this is going to be a bit more, not quite like tank where I'm being funny and analytical and more talking from my own experience, and more kind of picking up tips because, again, I've only played enough to get White Mage to 50, so I don't exactly have a ton of experience when it comes to the healers. I have all of them. I just don't play them because I cannot be trusted with the stress of playing the healer. Okay, I already have enough to do at the time. It's just anyway. Let's see how JoCat decides to slap us in the head in regards to being a healer. God, it's really funny. I had to kind of dial it back a little bit just because of the way it was set up after the after the whole live stream reaction to the Vengeance Saga. So we had to do this anyway. Again, as we get started, before I read the disclaimer, well, no, I'm not going to read the disclaimer again, but to remind again, the link to the original video will be down in the description below. Go support JoCat. His videos are very fun. Support him, do what you gotta do, and then come back and watch this video and see what I gotta talk about when it comes to healers, because we're probably going to get through this one a bit faster, depending on how much I have to talk about. I don't know. My degree in Yaponomics remains strong, so let's see. Anyway, also, I just need to remind everyone of the phrase, don't fuck with the White Mage. Respect your healers. And I say this as a tank maid. Anyway.
I love power, and I love feeling powerful. It strokes my biggly wiggly and forces lesser beings to bow down to my awesome might, lest they taste my boot between their gums. Nothing has ever given me the same rush of adrenaline than knowing that everybody has to submit to my whims for their own safety. It makes my brain do the goody-good chemicals and allows me to feel as though I have control over this truly unfortunate reality that the universe is slowly careening into an eventual...
Wait, okay, I'm gonna let him finish, but I just wanted to say, yes, as the healer, you are the ultimate deciding factor in the party. If the tank can set the flow, the healer can decide whether or not the tank has done a good job with that. Anyway,
heat death, and there's nothing anybody can do about it, as we are inconsequential specks in this cruel and uncaring universe. But none of that matters, because look at this, I can pull my party members into a pit that kills them. I find
it's sad that we can't do that anymore. Rescue. Oh, okay. Again, these videos were made around the end of Shadowbringers, and unfortunately, with Endwalker came the death of the spiteful healer rescue pull into the pit. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad that healers have lost that one little bit of extra spiteful play they can do to somebody.
Find that hilarious. Welcome to a crap guide to Final Fantasy.
Okay. Again, I'm probably not going to have as much to say. I say already 4 minutes into the recording, but yeah, oh boy, I'll have my comments, because I do have, again, I have some experience with healer. Not enough. Anyway, healer grabs a gun.
This power of all is the power to have control over people's lives, which is why the healer...
Okay, healer. I give you 5 mil HP to fuck off, green DPS, 1 button rotation, corruption arc. I can't SU, that's stupid. Okay. I like how one is just gun. Okay, so... Oh, that's Sage. That's Sage. You just... that's just Sage. Okay, so to kind of go with this, obviously we don't need to talk about this. Again, constant joke, every class is just DPS, actually. 1 button rotation. Yeah, so healers don't... For those who do not know, healers don't really have a lot of buttons to move through when they're not healing you. They have 1 solid attack button. Most of them have a dot. Most... Maybe in it... They have a single target. They have a dot. They have an AoE, and then they have their heals and their supports, whatever. All's good, all's good. Mostly, it depends. Sage is a little bit more complicated just because of how it goes, because it's much more DPS heavy, because its DPS is its healing. It's kind of like, it is what it is. It's also how you as a tank know who the main tank is versus who the off tank is, because whoever the Sage decides to pit with their buff on, they have become the main tank and they can no longer argue. The corruption arc, I don't get this joke. I don't get this. No, wait, no, I do get it, because healer makes you very cynical. Every healer I know is a cynical-ass, salty bitch. And they have every right to be. They have every right to be the most cynical, salty bitch you will ever meet. Can't Esuna stupid. This has gotten funny, too, because 7.1 recently changed Esuna to be an instant cast. So now it's even funnier. For those who don't know, Esuna is a cleansing spell, which most healers don't use because it has a timed cast, and it's a bit of a hassle to use. Just let the buff die out. But now it's instant, so there's no excuse not to use it anymore. All I'm saying. All I'm saying as a tank main, there's no excuse not to use it. Anyway.
Is the most likely party member to have a god complex. Right behind
yeah, they would.
Main tanks, mentors, and anybody who's an omnicrafter.
Yeah. Okay, again, I'm a gunbreaker man, so I'm generally the off tank. I'm generally off tank in full parties. Though, you know, main tank is whatever, but I don't have a god complex about it. Mentors, I don't know what it is about mentor players, but they tend to be some of the most impatient people on the planet. Like, every time I've had a mentor in a roulette, they tend to yank everyone along. And Omnicrafters, they scare me. Omnicrafters scare me, okay? Like, I haven't touched crafting or gathering because I was way too busy catching up with everything else in the game, like 2 years ago when I played through it. And I need to catch up again because I couldn't pay my sub for a couple of months and I fell off a few patches. Anyway, I'll cover that another time, maybe. But yeah, no, I haven't touched crafting or gathering, and they scare me. The Omnicrafters just, they scare me in the time they take. I respect it, but you also scare me. Anyway.
You are the most important person in the party, as you, along with the tank, are responsible for keeping the party alive by kissing
Yep.
their boo-boos and slapping the bitch who made the boo-boo.
No, wait, that animation is so funny.
You, along with the tank, are responsible for keeping
happy and alive DPS. Yes. Healer is always above tank, though. If healer goes down, then it's screwed. Now, if you're playing Paladin, though, while you don't have a revive, you do have the ability to heal. So, advice for Paladin players, once you're high level and you have Benediction, use that to help your healer. If not, to keep you up so the healer can focus on other stuff, on the healer, just in case it gets smacked in the face. Just saying, it's some good advice. You should probably think about doing it.
The party alive by kissing their boo-boos and slapping the bitch.
Okay, aside from the Bahamut slap, I just noticed the Black Mage has all the vulnerability stacks.
Who made the boo-boo. That's right, as a healer, you do have to deal damage as well. Man, but it's called a healer, and healers are supposed to heal, right? Wrong!
You have never... Oh god, the eye staring out through the beak is actually terrifying. But yes, you have never known terror until you've seen a white mage absolutely wreck a room, okay? Like, white mages have surprisingly high DPS for a healer class. It's actually fucking scary sometimes.
A healer's job is not necessarily to heal the party, but rather to keep them alive. And yes, there's a difference.
There's a very big difference. Look, as the saying goes that I've seen among healers, it is, but did you die? No? Good. You're fine, then.
There's gonna be a lot of downtime between heals, and you bet your afflatus rumpus that you're making the fight take longer than it has to if you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs waiting for your next chance to cast Cure. What
I love the background stuff.
do you do when the party's full health? What do you do when the party's full health? Or even halfway up and standing? DPS the bad guys.
Glare. Just as a white mage, your one job is to spam the fuck out of glare.
No, I don't pay your sub.
Classic comeback. No, you don't pay my sub.
But when the fight takes too long, it starts to rub all up on everybody's nerves. And when you hit endgame, it serves you right when the boss will wipe the party cause you couldn't beat Enrage. Sure, you're for the
Yeah, no, you don't. I don't pay your sub, but hey, also, you do have a job to do DPS as a healer, all I'm saying.
most part, keeping the party alive with a variety of healing utility spells.
Also, I gotta say, from the images, though, hold up, let's go back. I want to look at his healer glam for Victor. Let's go back a little bit. Dude, I love his healing glam, actually. His white mage healing glamour. That's just so cozy looking. It's so fun. It's such a nice little outfit. I love it. Anyway. Anyway, back here. I just had to talk about the glam.
Raid. Sure, you're for the most part keeping the party alive with a variety of healing. You
Oh, hey, that's the near raid. Debuff be gone. Get over here. Heals. Again, we have lost rescue, unfortunately. I'm sorry, healer mains. Though, you know what? As compensation, I will say this for tanks. Here's a compensation that you healer mains might be glad to hear about if you haven't seen the patch notes. Gunbreakers are no longer going to give you heart attacks because, unfortunately for us who like to be funny, I'm not one of them. Super Bleed no longer reduces Gunbreakers to 1 HP. It only reduces them by 50%. So guess what? You don't have to worry about the Gunbreaker giving you a heart attack anymore. Blessed be Yoshi P in the team. Thank you. Also means Super Bleed is no longer one of the worst infolds in the game, actually. Because by having 50% HP with the amount of tools that Gunbreaker has to keep itself alive and even self-heal, that's actually not bad. That actually makes it a lot more survivable. Still means Living Dead is objectively the worst infold, though. Man, Dark Knights just didn't get it good this patch. Anyway, back to healer talk.
utility spells, some regen, some shields. But
Wait. Hold up, we're going back a bit. Yep. Take this and don't talk to me. What, missing HP? Yep. I'm pretty sure that's the Sage ability. Yep, you got Astra. Yep.
Shields, but an equal amount of time you're casting those, you're also throwing in some
Pro White Mage rotation.
extra DPS when time allows. Remember, DPSing is just mitigating future damage. And if you're able to kill the current wave of dungeon mobs before
DPS is mitigating future damage, and Sprint is also mitigation. You don't take damage if you're not being hit by it. So, hey.
before they deplete the tank.
Party is 1/2. Okay, hold up. Let's go back. I interrupted a bit too much.
DPSing is just mitigating future damage. And if you're able to kill the current wave of dungeon mobs before they deplete the tank's HP, which by the way is going to regen to full by the time you reach the next mob pull anyway, what does it matter how low their HP gets? So yes, DPS when time allows. When does time allow? Well, I know you're scared of independence and but that's going to be a balancing act you'll have to figure out. However, my rule of thumb is the minimum amount of HP a party member has to be at is 1. But if
True. The only HP that matters is the last one. That is it. I've definitely been in some dungeon runs where as a tank I cut it pretty close, but we finish the encounter and then that's it and we're done. It's fine. So it doesn't matter. Look, if the healer can contribute more to DPS by the time you finish a mob clear, then all the better for it. I'm not as a tank man gonna say, oh, but why don't you keep my health up? Look, I'm gonna agree with Joe here. If you don't need to heal me, don't heal me in DPS. Plus, again, I'm main Gunbreaker. I have enough ways to stay alive myself during a mob pull. It's usually gonna be fine. All I'm saying, to give you that little bit of courtesy, I'll usually be fine. Now, when I'm playing DPS, worry about that other tank. That's the other tank's thing to worry about, so hey, leave me off of that.
If that's too scary for your little fingies, ask yourself. Will the enemy's next attack make your party member fall on their ass? If yes, heal so that it doesn't. If no, time to become a glare mage, motherfucker.
That's my favorite white mage joke. You just become glare mage after a certain level.
As long as they're alive and you're clearing the content, you're doing your job right. There is one caveat to doing your job right, and that's that everybody will hate you for it. Literally. By healing, you start to generate a lot of aggro from the bad guy. So if you ever decide to heal before mob pulls in dungeons, it's important to stick close to the tank like an ERPer sticks to Vieira's wearing 2B thigh highs.
As a male Vieira player, I'm relatively glad that I don't stick in certain server. I'm glad I play on Ultros, which is a marketing server, and 2, I'm glad I tend not to stick in one place for too very long because I very much worry about what certain RPer types would be saying to me in the chat log if I happen to stick around just as a male Vieira player. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Especially if you throw on a regen and suddenly 800 mobs crash through the wall with a How to Fry Fairies cookbook. You can't.
Again, as tank, this is why you spam your shit to take aggro off the healer.
Still do it, but you should know what you're getting into. Like live streaming and hoping that anybody will watch. As for
Joe, you didn't have to call me out like that. Joe, you did not have to call me out like that. That hurt. That was a glare straight to the face. That would hurt. Damn. I got called out. God damn it.
for your limit break, we heard you like healing, so we put more healing in your healing so you can heal while you heal. Unfortunately, you won't be using any limit break aside from LB3 because LB1 and 2 just heal the party, and you already have plenty of band-aids and popsicles to do that on your own. LB3, however, is so potent in healing it resurrects everybody in the party back from the dead instantaneously. But they
Yep. Okay. So to kind of explain this one too, a lot like how tanks really get to use their LB3, healers also. Okay, so basically the order of limit break priority goes DPS, healer, tank. Always save it for the DPS to do big damage to the boss if able to. If the party is absolutely in dire straits and like your party is mostly down, healer pops LB3 to resurrect everybody and save the either save the dungeon boss, the trial, or the raid, yada yada. Or if all else fails, or basically if the mechanic demands it, then the tank gets to pop their LB3 and give everyone invuln. But that is generally the priority list. You'll probably never, if your dungeon raid is going well, you're probably never going to see the white mage LB3, but you might see it from time to time. I've been in a few raid situations where shit just kind of goes awry and the healer has to pop it to save the raid. I've had some situations where the healer should have popped it to save the raid and they forgot to. So it can be a situation.
We'll have to do the thriller afterwards, so it's best to be safe for when you at least have enough people to make a backup dancing crew. For the flavors of the year, we have 3 boomers and the new kid on the block who...
True. Oh yeah, no. Okay, so at the time of when this came out, White Mage, Scholar, and Astrologian had been there for years. Like, again, White Mage and Scholar were the base 2 healing jobs. They were the only 2 healing jobs. Just like how Paladin and Warrior were the only 2 tanks. Scholar got added in Heavensward. No, Astrologian got added in Heavensward, correction. And Sage just came in with Shadowbringer, so Sage was a new kid. And so far has been the only new healer so far with the latest from Endwalker and now Dawntrail, because Endwalker and Dawntrail added more DPSs. Well, no, Endwalker added Reaper. Wait, no. No. Sage was Endwalker. Duh. Fucking Shadowbringers added fucking, that was Gunbreaker and I think another DPS. Yes, that was Dancer. So, Sage and Reaper were the Endwalker jobs. Fucking, God, I'm not remembering things correctly. Yeah, no. Sage was brand new when this video dropped.
Who bought a Glock and has a TikTok. The white...
And not just a Glock, 4 Glocks.
Mage is the most straightforward. You heal when a buddy is hurt and you attack when they're not. Just about everything in your arsenal is all about feeding them so much it'll make an inflation artist blush in embarrassment.
That's a very specific call out.
Also equipped with the best AoE skill in the entire game and the ability to never run out.
All spells cost 0, heal plus damage in AoE, plus regain MP, and a whole lot of heals regions that cost 0 MP to use. Yeah, no, White Mage is very good at its job. Very straightforward, though. Okay, I'm gonna say this. If you're not a healer main, and you're interested in playing healer at all, start from White Mage. Because White Mage has the simplest mechanics, it has the simplest rotation, and is very easy to learn and get into its groove, so it's a very good way to learn healer. I started from it for a reason as well. Because I was like, okay, I want to try and play some healer stuff, maybe, occasionally. Let's start with White Mage so I can kind of figure out what the hell I'm doing here. This is also why I don't play Sage. We will figure that out in a minute.
Inflation artist blush in embarrassment. You're also equipped with the best AoE skill in the entire game and the ability to never run out of mana unless you're really, really bad. Best of all, when your buddies
like me sometimes. Hey, it pays to be humble.
Get hurt, you can heal them to harness their
blood for the blood lily.
But let's
Afflatus Misery. Gotta harness the blood lily, man. Gotta harness it.
say you want to play White Mage, but you like tarot readings and star signs like a suburban woman in her mid to late 20s. Astrologian is probably for you. You draw cards that will enhance the abilities of your party members, and you fill the arena with enough space dust and constellations that you'll need 5 layers of sunglasses to see.
I know that Markiplier video. Again, the Astrologian does have an interesting questline, but again, it's too complicated for me. My monkey DPS and tank brain is not ready for it. Oh, who's kidding? I could definitely learn it. I learned it enough to get it to 60, but, you know, I haven't played it much since.
This job will also teach you how to build a bomb. Don't worry, it's friendly. Scholar is a weirdo who used to hang out with all the bad DPS kids, but
Healer's adjustable. Summoner getting reworked heavily by Endwalker. Again, that job has gone through so many changes.
decided to turn their life around when they met a nice girl who supports them in their new hobby.
Fair. That's fair.
Only problem is she knows nothing about your...
Hey, see, I'm still gonna use this whole healing thing.
And you have to keep correcting her on fandom trivia. They're all about putting shields and defensive buffs that protect the party from taking damage in the first place. That way they can guess what? DPS even more. Also, your girlfriend can get thick. And
Play Scholar, get free fairy GF. That's the motivation. There used to be a couple different modes for the fairy, but again, like, they changed that with some of the reworks. Summoner's rework was fucking extensive. Like, it's one of those jobs that, like, I thought about playing it pre-Endwalker, but when, like, I was told by my old FC, like, oh no, it's gonna get reworked for Endwalker, so if you're gonna play Summoner, just wait till then. I was like, good advice, I'll do that.
And finally, the new kid on the block, the Sage, a scholar who decided to stop being nice and pick up a gun. That shoots lasers! Like Scholar, they also put shields and protective buffs on their party members so they can spend more time shooting lasers! How do they do this? After seeing Alphino change to the job, my guess is the Nullists are liquefied carbuncles. Rest in peace, Carby. And now you know how to play healer. You're welcome.
Okay. The Sage one was very quick. Again, to kind of... okay, I tried to learn Sage. I think I played some of the initial quest line, but I didn't do it because, like, God, I cannot. Sage has a lot going on. It takes a bit of practice. Oh God, you gotta work to learn it, but it is worth it, I feel. Like, a good Sage is pretty good. They're pretty much gonna be an extra DPS if you're doing well, which is very funny if you're playing Gunbreaker. A party of Gunbreaker, Sage, and then the 2 DPSs has a very funny amount of damage. But anyway... I'm looking at the recording time. I still somehow got over 20 minutes. And by the way, this isn't even a 5-minute long video. My Yaponomics ability remains strong. But yes, that was Healers. I hope we all learned a bit. I learned a bit. I got a refresher of things that I needed to remember, even though I'm probably never going to put them to practice because I'm probably never going to play a healer myself. Anyway, we got DPSs to talk about next. Or Epic the Musical Animatics. That'll probably be what we post next week. We'll see. Till then.